Hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for the first race meeting of a new week as we get closer to bringing in Christmas and of course 2024. We race on Tuesday at Turffontein. We're on the stand side track and it's Tuesday the 12th of December. What's on offer, you may ask? Well, let's have a look at it. It is 8 races carded. So the exotics will all begin in race number 1. And at the top of the show, before we welcome Alistair Cohen, I must say when I had a look at this card just on, the sizes of the fields, which are smaller fields than normal, and it's consistent throughout the race meeting, I think this is going to be a very popular Hollywoodbets Punters Challenge race meeting to go after. But as I mentioned, we'll welcome Alistair Cohen, and unusual Alistair, because we'll have to mention it to the viewers because we are recording this show a couple of days earlier than usual. So at the time of recording, there's not much to report with regards to declarations, etc. But you are obviously getting ready for the Sunday race meeting at Hollywoodbets Durbanville as we speak, recording the show. But what you made of the Grand Heritage?
Dees, good day to you, good day to all the viewers. Well, as we know, the Grand Heritage is a day with a difference. We described that when doing the preview show. Full credit to Unzen. I mean, Unzen's one of those horses I was actually telling to Candice about Unzen, that he wins all the big stakes, but never a group race, because he won the Bloodstock SA sales race as a 3-year-old. So he took a big check there. And now he's going to win the Grand Heritage, which is also not a stakes race, but for a nice prize. So I suppose Robbie Sage has planned his career very nicely. I thought that he won with quite a lot in hand. He galloped away. What was interesting is that the lighter weights finished, well, predominantly lighter weights finished in the top 6 positions. So maybe that's a little bit of food for thought next year. What was also interesting is that there didn't seem to be an alarming track bias on the card. In fact, it even looked like inside draws were the order of the day, but we won't have to worry about the VAR for a couple of days out of that. But all in all, it looked to be a good meeting. Started like there was a great vibe. Lots of people were shouting home their horses. And now it's full steam ahead for this weekend. We've got the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas and Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday the 16th. That's obviously a public holiday, although it's a Saturday, but still there could be a few extra reasons to come racing on Saturday. And then on Sunday back in Joburg with the Mike de Kock Effie Tommy Stakes. So more feature races coming your way just before Christmas, and you're spot on to catch the Hollywood Punters Challenge in the days before Christmas would be very welcome indeed. We'll try our best to steer the guys in the right direction.
Okay, let's get straight into it. The first race will be a Work Riders maiden plate over 2,000 meters, and what I'm going to do is read out what I will call estimated betting. Let's put it that way. Number 3, 9 to 2, 4, 6 to 1, 5 Judgment Day, 12 to 10, 6 at 9 to 2, and 8, 15 to 2. Well, let's begin with the top one here, Alistair, Judgment Day. And I think the big plus, was that debut run with Work Rider Pensile Nkwa on board. Well, that was a very good introduction.
Very good start to his career. Sadly, a flat second start. That may have been, I think the race may have actually come a little bit too soon for Judgment Day, if I'm honest. I remember doing the show, I think it was with you, and I didn't like Judgment Day one bit second time out. I also thought that was a reasonably strong maiden, although Holocene won, and that surprised me as well. I think there were a few horses in and around the winner that might come out and win their races soon. So I think this is a very shallow start. These, as you say, Palasina Montar was at one ride on the 20-meter trained horse Judgment Day. It was his best run to Dubai Hills. I don't see too much opposition here. There's not much of a case you can make for the others. Bit of improvement shown by number 4, Duke of Oxford, from run 2 to run 3. But for me, he'll need to confirm that. And I don't see too much else here. We've got also like 3 Bells, 17-run maidens. Well loved. That's the horse who's got scope to improve. Number 6 on the card. A lot of scope to improve down to Chamel Mabaya. Chamel had a winner for Brett Crawford in Joburg just the other day on the short class Lady Crusade. So at least he'll have his tail up. But they all got to beat number 5 Judgment Day.
Ja, Pensile Munkawa I think that is the key, having partnered this horse on debut. And last time out, that 1,800-meter trip did fade in the running. Yep, now going 2,000 meters. Let's see how the horse goes, but both Alistair and I agree that the right horse will be at the top of the betting boards here and the start of the Jackpot. It could be a flying start. Would you take a chance and bank this one in the Jackpot, Ali?
Yeah, I think we can. I think we safe banking him in the Jackpot. If he doesn't win, I can't see him not being in the first two.
Okay, we're getting off to a flying start here, race number 1. You need to get that Jackpot bet on by 12.25. On to the place accumulator. And this becomes very difficult when you have unraced horses and forming part of the exotics, because you're going in blind, you're relying on maybe your analysis of pedigree, stable comments, and of course, your learned eye on how they go down to the post. Maiden juvenile plate for fillies, an 800-meter scurry. Just estimated betting, Alistair. Number 1, 16 to 1, 2, 5 to 1, 3, 22 to 10, 4, 16 to 10, 5, 8 to 1, number 6 at 33 to 10, and then the race runner at 10 to 1. I don't know if anything has grabbed your attention, etc., with regards to pedigree, or if you got your ear on the ground and you heard something. But, I've just given estimated betting here, Alistair, and possibly number 4, Ring-a-Ling, Sean Terry's runner at 16 to 10, followed by number 3, Brett Crawford's runner at 22 to 10, and 6 at 33 to 10.
The only comment that I've got to offer in race number 2, there are actually quite a few that appeal on pedigree, and I don't know which horse it is, I'm afraid, but I know that Matchett's expecting one of his babies to win. Whether it's in race 2 or race 3, I do not know, but there's something going on with Matchett and the baby races. So my advice will be to obviously watch the market, watch them go down to the start in race number 2. Race number 3 is a bit of a quandary because we've got some form, and obviously we've got the pick 6 rule that we'll get to in a moment. But the horse that there's money for from Matchett's yard in race 2 or 3, respect that money, because I know something's expected from something on the day. I actually have a feeling it's in race 3, but if it is something in race 2, I'd assume it'll be number 6, She's a Miracle, who's got quite a bit of speed in the pedigree. The other horses that look like they might be precocious enough, for me, are actually 2 and 3. It's Her Way and 3, Kindred Heart, but we are going in totally blind. The only form in the race is, for me, not good enough to win.
Yeah, as Alistair mentioned, flying and trying to hit the bullseye is very difficult, but maybe you can use the betting as the guide come race time. Wait until you get as much information as possible before 1300 hours, and maybe there will be some stable comments passed on by the on-course presenters as well for race number 2, the start of the place accumulator. Then on to the pick 6, which will begin in race number 3 at 13:35. 800 meters the distance. Thankfully, we can, use that first timer rule when it comes to the pick 6. But estimated betting, Alistair, number 1, Address the Nation, 5 to 2, 3, Fire Attack at 5 to 2, and number 3 at 28 to 10. Then we go on to a first timer that could be the right horse of the first timers that will be debuting on Tuesday that Alistair mentioned. This horse, number 6, Ready, Set, Fire, could be the horse that there has been some talk for at 4 to 1, or maybe it's in race number 2, and number 7, Stalwart at 12 to 1. I just want to touch on that race, which was, a very nice build-up to the start of the Betway Summer Cup race meeting as we got into that first race. But there was only money race time for one horse, and it proved to be spot on. This horse called Almond Sea for the stable of Tony Peter. Now, the individual Fire Attack, I know position-wise, the horse made up many, many positions over the final 400 meters, from where he was, which was at the back of the field, and ended up finishing 5th. But the way that horse won, Almond Sea, I think must have won by 5.5 lengths, or to just over 5 lengths. That was super impressive, Alistair, and we'll have to see how that form line is going to hold up. I suspect, there haven't been many runners yet, but if they start winning from finishing that far back, it could be a form line to follow.
Well, again, we've got absolutely no indication. What I was going to advise on this race is let's ignore Ullman C from that, because that wasn't normal to win by that margin over 800 meters. You only got 800 meters to stretch them out, and Ullman C was able to. I think what we got to remember is the second horse, Sean Terry, actually thought would run a big race, and there was money for the second horse Proceed. So if you take Fire Attack and Guerrilla Warfare and you ignore the winner, Guerrilla Warfare comes in third, 2.5 lengths behind the winner. You'd be confident enough looking at that. Yeah, well, I've got to give a comment for Candace Dawson's Address the Nation. What I can tell you is that Craig Zaki worked Address the Nation on Saturday and was very, very, very pleased with the work. Not a big son of One World, but a very athletic son of One World who looks nice and precocious, is certainly ready for the run. So expecting Address the Nation to run well, but again, got no idea whether the talk from the matched yard is in this race or whether the race runners are going to land with their experience. So just bear that in mind. How are we going to play it? Use that first timer rule to your advantage. Go 3 and 4.
3 and 4 here. And, well, let's see what happens with any of these first-timers come race time, especially the one from trainer Paul Matchett. Race number 4 kicks off at Jackpot 1. It's a maiden plate over 1,600 meters. Yep, estimated betting here, number 3 at 11-2. And then joint numbers 13 and 14 at 5-2. And the balance will all be in double figures. When you have a look at this race, between numbers 12 and 14, is that where the winner will come from, or we have to give respect to number 3?
And one other horse that I like a bit of here, that's number 7, Thomas Rainwater. So I go with the 4 horses and revolve myself around those 4. My top choice, well, put it like this, I think the best horse in the race is number 12, Resora Finale. But coming back from that type of layoff, nearly 200 days off the track, that's a cause for concern. He's a lovely son of Ideal World, a beautiful strapping horse trained by Wajong Mawing. Rachel Venneker takes the ride, got an awkward draw, so I'd take the stance that he might be setting up for next time, but like I said, I think that he is the best horse in the race. I think he's going to turn out to be the best horse in the race, but it's just whether he's ready or not. So that opens the door for number 14, Storm Brasco, Sean Terry and Richard Faree. Team up, also not from the best of draws, but stayed on very strongly. Now goes a mile for the first time, so that's bound to help. Number 3, Feel Alright. I prefer the stable companion, I must be honest. In fact, I'm much stronger on number 12, Resora Finale, so I'm actually going to sidestep number 3, Feel Alright. But this was number 7, Thomas Rainwater, is of interest to me. James Crawford's always he likes them all, but he's always held the Son of Flower Alley in higher regard than what he's shown. His first 2 runs he obviously needed. He came back from a break, needed his first run back, then had an awful draw in his second run back. Jury's came out and won a handicap just 5 days earlier. But last time there were signs of life behind Just Nuisance. I know it's a 4th run after rest. If it was 3rd run after rest, I'd be more confident. But I think you'll see a bit more from this horse, number 7, Thomas Rainwater, this time around. I think he'll go close enough, and I think he's worth putting into trifectas and quartets at least.
I think the chirp thus far for the week will be James Crawford. He loves them all. That's it. Race number 4. On to race number 5, 14:45. It's over 1,600 meters. This is Jackpot 2, races 5, 6, 7, and 8. You'll have to try and work out that winning perm. And I think this Jackpot, yeah, there is going to be some cash to be won here, 5, 6, 7, and 8, because it doesn't look easy. Some estimated betting here, Alistair. You have to go to the higher numbers here for where the betting will actually begin. Number 10 at 2-1, 12 at 15-2, 13 at 3-1, and 14, the first timer from the Alec Laird yard, at 15-2. I'm just looking at that run behind a Spirited Girl. Could the winner come from that form line when 10 Beating Wings was, third? Yep, third behind Spirited Girl. And the other horse was Secret Wings, apologies, number 13, Silky Jet. But those are the 2 runners that I possibly think most punters will be playing around for the exotics.
I think it's a very open race, this, Deez. I think there are a lot that you need. Jackpot 2, funny enough, is my suggested bet, mainly because I don't coming off a layoff a race earlier. Otherwise, it would have been Jackpot 1. With the baby races, I don't want to be going down the well sort of blind with no betting guide for the viewers. So Jackpot 2 is my bet. Number 10, Beating Wings, is my top selection. It was a typical pedigree introduction, come from a long way back, clear a few runners late, and run on and have a good look for next time. That's normally the pedigree way with first timers. But how strong is the form? I don't know how strong that form is going to work out. The extra furlong should be no worry whatsoever for this daughter of Rafif out of a Western Winter mare. Certainly not what she produced first time out. Pedigree-wise, it might look a little bit dicey, but to the eye, it looked like she'll have absolutely no issue going this trip and further in time to come. Again, it wouldn't be the pedigree style to run from a deep draw over 1,600 metres on the Turffontein standside track, but here we are. I'm sure she'll be ridden for luck. So despite number 10, Beating Wings, looking like the obvious improvement, the one they all need to beat, there are a few in here that I think you need to cast your net a bit wider with. The horse that actually makes quite a bit of appeal is number 11, Higgledy Piggledy. I know that the form lines aren't all that strong, but she goes a mile for the first time as well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of improvement come from her. Cabello Mazziniani takes her out. He's paying his way with the Azzies at the moment. Also, the stable companion Marty Scob, the mother you'll remember quite well, was trained by Mike Azzi, and she's produced quite a few good ones. They can be quirky. There was a one that Marco van Rensburg rode to win the 1900 a few years ago from start to finish. Marco couldn't hold it. Orpheus, that was the horse's name. So this is a half-sister to Orpheus, number 12, Marty Scob. So like I said, they have their quirks, but they also pack with ability. 13, Silky Jet, 2 runs in Durban, 2 nice runs in Durban. A win shouldn't be all that far away. The pedigree of number 14, Succumbit, makes appeal. Caden Brewer takes her out for Alec Laird. And then further up the page, 5 and 6, Darling Harbour and City Lights, other horses that I've included. Darling Harbour in the run to Give Me Another. That's appealing. I can tell you that Pila Sunday Paulie is a bit more confident than the trainer with number 5, Darling Harbour. Candice is a bit on the fence because she can mix her work. So that's something to think about. But Pila Sunday is happy with where she is. So throw her in. And then number 6, City Lights, finished in front of Darling Harbour in that run to Heart Peak. So there's another interesting dynamic to the race.
I just want to, just give some information. When Ashley Fortune decided to relocate down under, and everything was happening with the horses beside those that were being sold or partnerships dissolved, and trainers, owners looking for trainers to send their horses to. Darlin Chinsami, who had many shares in many horses with Ashley. One of them was this horse called Beating Wings, and when the horse went over to Stuart Peregrine, I will tell you that it may have been a week and a half prior to the running of this race. He said that of Darlin's horses, and there are a few there in the care of Stuart Pettigrew, that this is the most forward and possibly the best of the runners that he has a percentage with. And he wasn't expecting, much first time out. As Alistair mentioned, it's the Pettigrew style. He just said that whatever happens on debut, there will be plenty to come, and I suspect there will be with number 10, Beating Wings. So if you're looking for a bit of confidence, the filly does show some good ability back home, and she was soft first time out, and that run would have brought her on a ton. So if you want to have a go, I can give you the green light there with number 10, Beating Wings, that you will see serious improvement to come from her. Race number 6, over 1,600 meters. It is a Pinnacle Stakes, and this race, we often refer to the best weighted column in these condition races. But firstly, let's go to the betting and estimated betting at the time of recording. It's much earlier than usual. Usually it's done a day before. Number 1, Litigation, is at 5-1. 2, Malek, is at 9-2. Number 3, at 11-2. 4 is a 6-1 shot. 7 at 11-2. And 9, Tulip Tree, who always gets a mention from me, is also trading at 11-2. I mentioned that best weighted column, Alistair. Well, usually you can't use it as a guide, especially if you're in agreement with ratings and how the weights are structured. But this race, it's of no help.
Yeah, quite right. Sometimes they can provide a curveball when that is your Bible in races like this. But Lady of Power, despite being getting your grade 2 winner sort of at the start of the year, winning the Volker-Boster Phillies Guineas. She's lost her way. So I like number 2, Meta here, Dees. I like the run in the LRT Road on a Mission Mile. I think that this is just the type of race that's tailor-made for the son of William Longsword. Good to see Roy Magnet back in form at the Val with that winner, Guy Gibson, who didn't let the team down. Muzi Yanni takes the ride, and the colours of John Finlayson. 50% win record. He's climbed the ladder in a good way. He might just be at his mark of 110, but once upon a time he ran 5 lanes to Charles Dickens off level weight. So for me, that's probably the best form on offer. But this was number 6, Savannah Storm, punches above his weight. Keratila Kichedi's back on board for Philip and Yanita for Muirland. He's not one to ever ignore number 6, Savannah Storm. He always just bubbles under the radar. He probably got the punishment he deserved for winning that Drumstar handicap a couple of years ago when Marco van Rensburg won from start to finish. He went a million miles an hour and stayed there, so his rating of 106 may have just set him back for a while, but now he's back up to a 104, so I know it's a pinnacle stake, so the ratings have to be taken even more seriously. But I think number 6, Savannah Storm, just the way that he out-muscled the better weighted and probably pound for pound a better horse last time in the form of Feather Boa, just gives a bit of confidence that he can do it again. So I'm going to settle on numbers 2 and 6 here, Melek and Savannah Storm. The reason why I'm leaving out the horses who ran in the Summer Cup, much like my analogy with the Hollywoodbets Durbanville, that first run after such a taxing race can be a bit of a flat run. So from that perspective, horses like Meridius and Litigation and Lady of Power, I'm just going to leave out this time around. 7 Crimson King, I've always believed a miles on the short side for him now. I don't know if number 9 Tulip Tree's quite got the class, so that's why I'm going to go with 2 and 6.
2 and 6 for Alistair Cohen, but I'd just like a comment on one runner here. And if you're to pick out, all these horses, and you want to talk about a horse that's gone so off form, and what has happened to number 8, Lady of Power, Alistair?
Hard to say. Probably since leaving Joey Soma, she's not quite been the same despite a great run in the Volker-Boster of Dogs. She's just not showing signs of life. I hope she hasn't gone sour because she's obviously a very, very good filly. But she just doesn't seem to be herself at the moment.
Yeah, because we spoke, briefly about her when we spoke about Rennie the other day. That came to run a very good race back for the Brett Crawford stable over the weekend. But well done with Guy Gibson there. I mean, that was spot on with the blinkers, etc. Lady of Power, she showed a lot as a 3-year-old, but she hasn't seemed to have recaptured any of that form as her merit rating continues to slide. It's not the right race for me, but as her rating slides, keep an eye on where she could be positioned to get some confidence back and maybe into the number 1 box. But 2 and 6 here for Alistair in race number 6. On to race number 7. This is over 2,850 meters, and it's all about stamina. Let's go with forecast betting. Numbers 1 and 2, 28 to 10. And number 4, Absolute Value at 5 to 2. 5, United Council at 7 to 2. And those will be the horses that will dominate. Spot on last time out when Absolute Value raced, Alistair. This stable, wow. I get these, I'm sure most of us get this from the various stables, depending on which social media platforms, etc. you're on. But I do get Fabian Habib's comments, and these comments seem to match, the way his horses are running. The confidence is there from the yard, and they're producing in a big way.
I get Fabian's comments as well. Doesn't it drive you insane that there's not one mark of punctuation?
You said it. You said it.
Not one comma, not one hyphen, not one nothing. Yesterday was 5 runners from the yard, and it was. If you had to read it the way it was written, you would have sounded like you were Peter Duffield calling the Summer Cup.
I promise you. You know when I read it, and Fabian. Not we love you, Fabian. You're wonderful, and we get on well with you. But when I read it, what I think. It's the way the Lebanese speak to each other. Perfectly. Exactly the way it works. And I just read it like Fabian's chatting to me, and it makes sense, doesn't it?
Never change, Fabian. I make it the Lebanese races. 1 and 4 for me here. D's Flying Bull, an absolute value. We know what absolute value is going to do. Going to blaze off to the front. Flying Bull won like that last time out. Hopefully they don't cost each other from my perspective, because 1 and 4 are the only numbers that I want to know about here. But I'm leaning towards number 4, absolute value, because there's 8 kilos in it. Flying Bull's got to lug round that 62 kilos. That's going to feel very heavy for how long are they going to go in this race? For 3 minutes of this race. So absolute value, definitely my top choice. Although Battleground's beaten him a couple of times before, Battleground's just not quite igniting at the moment the way that I'd like. So for that reason, I'm going to settle on 1 and 4. Hopefully they don't cost each other the race. Someone's allowed to lead. I think the one that gets the lead probably going to be the one who wins the race. But like I said, with the weight on the back of number 4, absolute value, I'll steer towards him.
Yeah, thanks to Fabian for disseminating all that information to the various groups that he's involved in, of course, his patrons and the general public. But yesterday, for the first time, now Alistair's brought me on to some. I never got this before. I don't know if it was the first right or not, but it definitely was my first read. That Muzi Yeni column, did you get that yesterday?
No, I didn't get the Muzi column. I read that as often as I can in the Citizen, and Muzi's feedback's normally brilliant, isn't it?
Listen to me. I'm going to send you one now while we are going to be previewing race number 8. I mean, this must be... okay, have a look at it. It's such an in-depth analysis. Wow. By the time I got to the second race, I had enough. I promise you. I mean, fair enough. The effort and everything that's put into it, wow. It's absolutely brilliant. But, I mean, just for, WhatsApp social groups, Muzi, if you're listening in, or whoever writes that column for you, whilst you just, maybe dictate, maybe just shorten it down. On to race number 8, Sunday, the 17th of December. It's a novice handicap over 1,400 meters. And forecast betting, number 1, 16 to 10, 2 at 9 to 2, 4 at 9 to 1, 6 at 9 to 1, 10 to 1, and better the balance. Alistair, your assessment, race 8?
Tricky race, D's. I don't think it's the easiest one to wade your way through. So I've got a few horses in my play in the closing leg of the Jackpot. I think you've got to be impressed with the run of Tegan's Champ on debut. There's a lot to like about that. Don't know what he beat, but he looked like a racehorse. Won't be easy of top weight now, stepping up in grade, but he beat Just Nuisance by 6.5 lengths, who obviously came out and beat a horse called To The Rescue. I think is still good. Number 2, Wise Act. I also think quite a bit of this horse, the son of Active War, related to grade 1 winner Bohica, half brother to Bohica. Then there's number 4, Command Pilot, who also has to go into the play. Alec Laird and Calvin Abib team up here. Ran in a pretty good race last time behind Eiffel Tower, who pushed some nice horses to the line just the other day. 6, Real Relief. I think he's bound to come back to some sort of form. I don't know what level he's at in terms of ability-wise, and if he is going to get to group level, but I think he'll be dangerous enough in this. And then 9 and 12, 9 Lady Fallon, I wouldn't ordinarily like, but she caught the eye last time. Another stride, she probably beats her stable companion. And the other one, number 12, Kalido, who I know Waishong Mawing likes, the son of Horizon as a racehorse. Don't know what he thinks of him on this card. Rachel Venica takes the ride. Bit of an iffy draw to overcome. You don't want to be there over 1,400 meters on the stand side track, but there are lots in here with chances. Difficult to eliminate too many.
Okay, so that is it, race number 8. Have you had a look at that Muzi Yeni column I sent you?
Yeah. Here it is. All I got is read.
Keep scrolling.
Read more. Does he get paid per word?
Yeah, per word, I think that is it. That's the contract there. Definitely per word, Alistair, and with no restriction. But thanks to Muzi and whoever's writing it, if he's involved for putting out those type of comments, because it's an in-depth analysis, and some will definitely enjoy it. But these days, when it comes to anything on social media, videos, comments, whatever, the sharper the better, isn't it, Alistair? It just keeps your attention.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the more information, the better, for obvious reasons. There's there's a lot of people who will take every word that certain people say on trust, and all that does is build attention, build awareness, and build anticipation. So nothing wrong.
That Tegan's champ, which you spoke about, the fact that the form is held up with those horses so far back, that's a big positive, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. I mean, like I said, it's a step up in grade, but it's also a novice handicap. So what is the quality that he's running against here? I'm not too sure. It's obviously slightly better, but the form's looking good. The win was out the top draw as well. So there could be something about this horse, number 1, Tegan's champ.
Seriously rated by the yard. Seriously, and you could see first time out the way the money poured on that. Can he go back to back? Well, let's go to Alistair's selection and see what he's done. He's given a jackpot 2. Alistair, your numbers are up on screen.
Yep, Jackpot 2 gets underway at 3:15 with race number 5. I've gone 5 Darling Harbour, 6 City Lights, 10 Beating Wings, 11 Higgledy Piggledy, 12 Marty Squab, 13 Silky Jet, and 14 Circumvent. By numbers 2 and 6, Melek and Savannah Storm. By 1 and 4, Flying Bull and Absolute Value. And then the final leg of Jackpot 2, 1 Tegan's Champ, 2 Wise Act, 4 Command Pilot, 6 Real Relief, 9 Lady Fallon, and 12 Kalida.
Okay, that is Alistair Cohen on this Tuesday, the first local race meeting for the week. And we got 8 races carded. And at the top of the show, well, we mentioned the Hollywoodbets Punters Challenge competition. That closes 5 minutes before the off of race number 1, which will be 12:20. And it's very simple, easy to play, user-friendly on the Hollywoodbets website. All you need to do is register, have an account. It's play for free, but if you put a 50 Rand bet, which is a minimum, then, which includes doubles, trebles, there's a whole mix there that you can use your 50 Rand on. But if you use that, then the daily prize of 5,000 will be doubled to 10,000. And the number of horses on a race card multiplied by 10,000 gives you the grand jackpot, or the all or nothing as it's called. And whatever that amounts to, play for free, will be multiplied by 2. I mention this because I think that this will be very popular. You're going to get a lot of players just having a look at the card, the way they're priced up, the way the horses are placed, and it looks like a fair day that we'll have at Turffontein. Alistair Cohen, as always, thanks for your time. And hopefully, by the time this is being aired, we'll have had a wonderful meeting at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on the Sunday.
Hope so too, Dees. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, and we'll chat again soon.
Thanks to Alistair Cohen. Thanks to the entire team at Gallop TV. On this Tuesday, you have a blast. Find all the winners. May it turn out to be a highly profitable day for you. And until we meet again, from the entire team, Alistair Cohen, myself, Dee Steiner, you take care. Salani Gashle.